Hello, welcome back to another Swans Cast Podcast. Merry Christmas, everyone. It's probably going to be our last one before Christmas. So it's a bit more positive, I think, than the more recent podcasts that we've done. A little bit better in terms of results that we're going to be speaking about. I've got Lee here to talk about it all with me. Ben is doing other festivities. Obviously, time of year, there's a lot going on. So hopefully he'll be back for the next one. But welcome in, Lee. We'll carry this one forward without him.
Hello, how are we doing? This is the Christmas episode. So,
You look like you dressed more like for a funeral rather than for
I know
Christmas.
this is the working from home vibe.
The
This
funeral
is
for
I'm
the
still
Swans.
not in Christmas mode yet until I finish work.
So I've got my my Snoop Dogg t-shirt on, repping
Yeah.
for Christmas, just for everyone to see on the back as well. That's how sad I am. I saw it in a shop and I was like, well, there's only one place in the UK that's been made for, isn't there? Let's be honest. I just think it was more of a coincidence, but there we go. I had to pick it up. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today, obviously we've got two games where we won at home to get into, and some talking points from those. Couple of decent goals, and from different angles, you got a bit of a worldie in one capacity, and then a bit more of a teamwork goal, which is something we've been missing all season. However, that one came in the other game we got to discuss, which was a defeat away at Stoke, but maybe it wasn't necessarily as bad as the scoreline suggests when we look at the grand scheme of things and what has come before. The fans forum obviously happened. Lee made his way down to that one, so he's got a little bit of stuff that he can mention regarding what Vito Matos had to say when he finally arrived, because you were telling me he was a little bit late. Is that right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he must have turned up about 45 minutes late, I think.
To be fair, I'm not sure if this is why, but on that particular day, there was horrendous flooding in quite a few areas. Do you know Morriston, where they got the roundabout on top of the dual carriageway by Castle Bingo?
Yeah.
It was shut underneath. Apparently, that flooded, so everyone was having to go up onto the roundabout and down. So never know. Maybe he got caught up in some of that carnage.
Kumbulla roundabout floods every week now, isn't it?
That's just a normal thing these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
Britain Ferry was flooded this time, so anyone affected by that, obviously thoughts go out to you. Hopefully everything's okay. That looked quite bad from what I saw. It's not too far away from where I'm based, so yeah, it's not very good. But it's happening quite a lot, isn't it, these days, which is a bit of an issue. But hopefully that gets fixed going forward. What else we got? Matos' coaches.
Yep.
All but confirmed, which you can kind of discuss that later on when it comes to the fan forum. And obviously this weekend, well, Friday, under the lights, we've got Wrexham at home in what is the Welsh derby, or being billed as this season. We'll talk about our thoughts and feelings on that. Do we think it's a derby, and all of the rest of the conversation that comes with it? I actually haven't seen as much media attention as I thought that I was going to, but maybe, what day is it? Wednesday we're recording, right, so maybe it will start picking up a bit tomorrow. But I thought it was going to be everywhere all week.
Yeah, I'm surprised actually thinking about that. I've been busy with work and stuff, but you're right actually thinking about it. I haven't seen anything.
And there's a little bit more to talk about with that game as well, because I think Wrexham's struggling to sell out their away allocation, which has come as a surprise to some people. But I think it just highlights the issue around Sky and the scheduling with when they've actually put that game on. I think if you're a Swansea fan, you probably don't have so much of an issue with it. But if you're a Wrexham fan, it's kind of a horrendous scheduling sort of decision, I think. Friday before Christmas, that late in the day, a lot of people are just not going to make that trip due to the time of year as well. So we'll talk about that more on that later anyway. Let's get cracking then. So we've actually got some wins to talk about, Lee. So if you want to lead the way with the 6 points at home. So there's 2-0 against Oxford and 1-0 against Portsmouth.
Yeah, they were must wins though, weren't they? We absolutely needed to win those games. However it came, I would have taken 1-0 own goal. I would have taken them in both those games, because we did. The last time we spoke was the West Brom game, and I was very doom and gloom because I thought we were in big trouble. And I guess I'm still there a little bit. It hasn't eased me totally, but they were massive wins. I think the worry was after West Brom was, I was thinking we hadn't had a little bit of a manager bounce. I thought, when a new manager comes in, you think, oh, you see a bit more. And then we let him off the Derby game because he was there for like a day, wasn't he? But then I thought the West Brom game we'd see a bit of a bounce, but we didn't get it. In fact, it was worse, wasn't it? But then I do think we had that bounce in those 2 home games. I think that's when it actually came, because I thought we were much better, not in terms of like quality, but I think in just terms of like running more and wanting to win the game. There wasn't so much bad body language. You could see they were really wanted to win those games. So I think we had that manager bounce in those 2 games. But yeah, I can't really say much, but I will talk about the goals and stuff we scored, but just absolute must wins, and we got them. So credit to them.
Yeah, we did get them. I know we were talking in the last podcast about them being such big games and must wins. And if you look at the results that happened around us, a couple of the teams picked up some results in the last 3 games since we've last been on the podcast. Portsmouth got a win in their last time out. However, one of their games did get cancelled, didn't it, or abandoned. So they have got a game in hand. So they, in theory, could still be on the same points as us. Oxford only picked up a point in that period. Norwich picked up less than us. They picked up 4. So in terms of 2 of the teams that are currently in the relegation zone, we have pulled away in the last 3 games. So do we still think that we're in that battle? Have you seen enough to suggest we might start climbing away? Or is it too early to sort of
I think
that conversation?
For me, it's still a bit early. I think like we won those 2 home games we had to win, but it hasn't, because of the position we were in, it hasn't totally pulled us away. And we've got obviously we lost against Stoke then, and we've got Coventry, we got Wrexham, which is, we'll talk about that. It could go either way, and then we've got Coventry away, which is a really difficult fixture at the moment. So we could be back in a bad position, but equally we could push up the table a bit. So I don't know yet. Not enough for me yet. I've seen small improvements. I have definitely seen improvements, but when we get into the games a little bit, I think like, again, my big topic is I'm still not sure about the quality at the right end of the field. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, you can start now if you want. So obviously Oxford 2-0 and Portsmouth 1-0. Is there any themes that you've seen from the team that we are perhaps doing in a different way now? Like what's Matos brought in that you could see from those games?
I think like we said, I think the energy was just up a little bit. I think he talks about like pressing high a lot, doesn't he? He talks about that counter press. And I think we see it early doors in the game. But then I think you said in the last podcast, and I think you were spot on, is that I don't know how fit we are to be able to do that for 90 minutes, especially if it's Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. That's a difficult ask to do, play with that intensity for 3 games in a week. But you can see there's definitely small changes happening like that. But like the Oxford game, I know it's it feels like it's ages ago now, but it's only like a week ago. I think didn't see a whole lot in terms of like attacking wise. I thought it was still quite similar. Like we scored, one was a worldie from our left back, and the other was a header from our defensive midfielder from a set piece. So we didn't. Again, I don't think we created
Isn't that the first
a whole
goal
lot
from a set piece this season, though? So you could say that's positive.
Yeah, no, definitely a positive. It's I think it's definitely improved, but again, it's probably, and this is not a criticism of Matos either. I just think it's too early for it to for us to see a massive change. But I think we're just seeing incremental changes as we go along. But yeah, in terms of the Oxford game, I just thought it wasn't a whole massive difference. I think we had 2 bits of quality from Timon in particular, because his cross for the Stamenic goal was brilliant, and then his volley was just unbelievable. That's goal of the season, probably end that competition now.
Do you think, as I was going to say, do you think Timon's goal is goal of the season for not just the Swans, but for the championship?
Oh, it's got to be up there. I mean,
there was a big one from Leicester, I think it was, on the weekend. Just gone.
Oh, was there? I haven't seen that one, but
from the
I was
halfway
going to
line.
say I haven't seen many. Normally they pop up tonight on social media and stuff when someone scores like a screamer, but that one, oh my god, you just won't see a better strike than that. That's just and the angles from behind, where he's just got over the ball, has come off the bar,
and the height.
Yeah,
the height that he had to do it at as well, to raise his foot and make the connection at the literally the perfect part of the ball that he volleys it. And it's from when he kicks it, is rising the whole time, isn't it? But only marginally, and by the time it gets to the goal, it's literally as close as you can get to the crossbar and the right hand side post as you could literally get without hitting them.
How good is Timon now, by the way? His left foot is an absolute wand, isn't it? I think he's our best crosser of the ball. Like, that technique for that goal is unbelievable. I'd go as far as to say I'm quite confident that none of our attacking players have got the technique to score that goal.
Not even what, Nick?
Well, maybe not. No,
I don't think he'd have the technique for it. I think he's different, and he's more of a power.
Different type. I don't. Yeah, I think he's technique-wise.
Power.
Yeah, technique-wise, I think he's the only player in our squad that can do that. Timon's just the balls he puts in the box, and do you remember when we signed him and people were slating him, and
it's because he came from Stoke with the narrative that he couldn't defend, which I think there's an element of truth to, but obviously we get more out of him in a different way that we can accept maybe some of his weaknesses. Like, if he was able to do what he's doing and was like the best left back defensively in the league, he wouldn't be in the league.
Yeah. But he's that good going forward, though. He is that good going forward. He could be at the top end of the Championship, even bottom end of the Premiership going forward, because that left foot is just it's just ridiculous what he can do with it. But to be honest, I don't see. I guess you're right. It is probably the weaker part of his game is defensively, but I don't think we're particularly weak down that left hand side. Defensively,
no, I think he's been all right. I think
you're right. I think he's probably found a way to balance.
I tell you what makes it. I'm going to talk about him a little bit more in a bit, but I think because Josh Key is struggling so much, then you don't necessarily notice anything else because there's a massive difference there. But I think I can't remember what game it was. I don't think a goal came from it, but Timon committed to trying to intercept the ball when he was out of position and got nowhere near the ball, and a winger got played in down his flank. That's the sort of thing defensively he doesn't do a good job of. And then he's absolutely in no man's land, and there's acres of space. Luckily, nothing came of it. I can't remember what game that was in. It was one of the 2 home games. I think it might have been Portsmouth, to be honest. But that's where he can struggle sometimes. But everyone's got a bit of a moment in them. I think he's got better as well. So when he first came in, I did think he was at fault for a decent number of goals. I think he would often lose his man from a set piece, or he would often lose his man when marking in the box generally, or all of a sudden there's a ball played in behind him all the time, and he's just on the back foot. But I do think he's improved a lot since he signed in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, he's just. I think he's really quality now. I think he goes quite under the radar as well because he just before. You're right. I think he was bedding in. Was it the January? Was it the January under Williams, or was it the January after Duff got sacked when he came in? I'm trying to think when he came in now. But
did he not come in the summer?
I thought it was a January he came in. But anyway, you're right. I think it took him time to bed in, but now he's absolute key member of the squad. In the Stoke game, he went down injured, and it looked like he was going to go off, and he never goes off. He plays most games, doesn't he? And I thought, we are in big trouble if we're missing Timon, especially going forward. I mean, look at the Oxford game, goal and assist in that game.
He joined on September the 1st, 2023.
Oh, September was it? Oh, fair enough. I don't know. I had in my head.
Deadline day, is it as well?
Yeah, I thought he came in January for some reason, but there we go.
Is that Michael Duff in it?
Yeah, it would have been, yeah.
23-24 is Duff to Williams.
Yeah.
24-25 Williams to Sheehan.
Yeah.
25-26 Sheehan to Matos.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that was under Duff. Yeah, no, I think he's been great, and we thought those two were actually the 2 highlights of the Duff sign in summer. The other Josh is having a bad time of it. We'll get back to him in a bit though. I just seen a stat. You're talking about the chance creation. You said you didn't think necessarily it was fireworks yet since the change. There's a stat here the Vital Swans have just posted on Twitter. Just happened to see it as we're discussing now. Swansea City have created 9 big chances in 5 games since Matos has joined, and they created only 15 in the previous 16 games under Sheehan.
That's mad, isn't it?
So I think you've got some stats that you pulled up and shared with us in our little group the other day, where there's marginal things you can notice from it, but I think over such a small sample size, it's not quite highlighting yet massively the differences. But I think a stat like that the big chances in those amount of games is definitely shows there's been improvement. I think when you watch the team, it looks a bit better going forward, even if the chances that we're creating are not amazing quality. They're trying, whereas I don't think they were always trying before. I think it was very safe before, which was what was compromising us. But it'll take some time to sort of let the shackles come off, if that was the main reason that they were getting coached out of being creative. And I can't speak today. Getting coached out of being creative and coached out of doing any like flair or taking risks. It'll take time to get that back into the game. But I think the fact that we've created more big chances in that short spell definitely shows that there is some differences there. And we could talk about one goal in particular, I think, as we're sort of flip-flopping around this 3-game period. In the Stoke game where we did lose, the goal that we did score when we're 2-0 down as well, which I think we wouldn't have done under Sheehan, to be honest. Especially in the last 6 or 7 games. Maybe earlier in the season we would have come back, but not towards the end of his reign. I thought that was an outstanding goal, and that's what we've missed all season, is like the team aspect of our goals. Like just scoring team goals is something that I can't remember off the top of my head. I can't give you an example right now of a well-worked team goal. There probably is one, but nothing. There's no highlight for me, and I think that's an issue. I got plenty that I could tell you of individual brilliance. But team goals, I can't think of another example off the top of my head, which highlights what I'm trying to say, I guess. But Galbraith, obviously, he's been playing at right back. He gets put back into midfield after some changes are made. He plays a really good splitting ball to Vidal, who is staying wide, but also on the line of the defence. Making a run. Very intelligent run, to be honest. And Galbraith, obviously a very intelligent player, is able to find him. And there wasn't much room. If you watch the replay for that goal, there's not much room for him to play that ball. He plays it on the inside of the defender who's marking Vidal, where the ball comes on the inside of him, but goes to the outside where Vidal can then run onto it. Vidal's got enough of a run on him. I think not necessarily outpacing the defender marking him, but gets enough of a run on him to get to the ball first. But he doesn't delay in what he's going to do. And he instantly plays a low ball crossing to Vopotnik, who is also on the line, essentially running in with the Stoke defender. And the quality of the cross from Vidal, which is like a whipped low ball in, curves just enough around the defender that's marking Vopotnik to land essentially at his feet, and he does a good finish then into the bottom corner of the goal. But some, I think, killer instinct and sort of decisiveness in the decision making and being direct and actually wanting to go forward quickly is what created that goal. And I think that's everything that we have not done this season.
Yeah, definitely. The two unbelievable passes there, isn't it? The Galbraith ball in behind to Vidal and that cross in. It's just, like you said, we haven't seen it all season. And that's what we've been crying out for. That, well, both of them in particular, but more so from the attacking players, like Vidal from the wing. We've been crying out for that one bit of quality. Because I think we've spoke about Vopotnik, I think he will finish chances, but he doesn't get enough opportunities like that, does he? That. He's never missing from there. I think he missed one in the first half where I think that's probably the only chance he's missed all season. But that one, second time round, he's never missing that. And it's just put on a plate for him. And that's what we've been desperate for. If we can find a way to get the wingers, or I don't, the Galbraith's not an issue, but if we can find a way to get wingers and maybe a 10 contributing to Vopotnik, I think would be dangerous.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Vidal has shown already that, in my opinion, that Sheehan was wrong to be so slow to utilise him, really. Only towards the last couple of games, he started getting some involvement, got his first start in the league. He was out of the matchday squad for a couple of weeks in a row. Sheehan was talking about him, talked well about the way he was applying himself in training, but obviously there was some issue there that he had to not be selecting him. And I'm not saying he's the finished product whatsoever, but maybe when we go on to talk about the stats of Ronald, for example, it just makes you wonder how on earth, week in, week out, he's able to hold his place in the team.
Yeah.
When you've got Vidal then getting criticised or spoken about in the media why he's not able to get into the match day squad, let alone start. I just don't understand that decision whatsoever. I think maybe he's not as quick as the normal winger. Sometimes Vidal can be sort of not really in the game that much, but maybe if you say the stats about Ronald, it will highlight what I'm trying to say about why it just baffles me that he's not even there as an option. Or wasn't, sorry.
I mean, like, again, like I've been saying this for like 2 seasons, and I didn't like to dig out individual players, but I think it's becoming more and more apparent now about like the quality that Ronald brings to the.
It doesn't need to be digging an individual out when it's a factual statistic.
No, and I think it's there for everybody to see now, and I think I saw it on Twitter.
It's been doing the rounds on
yeah, it's been doing the rounds. I saw it on Twitter like maybe 2 games ago, when it was like, he hadn't completed a cross in 11 games. And I thought, oh, that can't be right. So I had to look at it as well, and it was true. And now we're up to 13 games without Ronald completing a cross as a winger, which is crazy, really. And then I was just doing a bit more digging, and he's actually only completed 6 crosses all season. And you think the amount of game time he does get, I mean, I think he's featured in every game, really. He had the most minutes out of every outfield player last season, and he's featured in every game this season. I mean, he started most games as well. I think it's only 5 times he's been on the bench. He started every other game. So I think it's just become baffling to people now. I think everyone's saying like, well, why does he start every game when you've got like a Vidal on the bench? You've got, I don't know if Anusa's fitness is a problem, but I think people are asking the question now, like, why does he start every week? Like, what is going on? Because I think it's becoming noticeable.
I think Vidal's the one for me that's put his hand up to have a claim to the position, even if he's not the same sort of player as Ronald. And I think ideally Matos probably wants more of a Ronald player that is playing rather than a Vidal player. I think Vidal is better centrally suited.
Yeah.
Well, how we get him into that, I'm not sure. I just think the energy Matos is going to want to play with, that's why he'll pick someone like Ronald over Vidal.
Yeah.
But it's not always about that, is it? If the end result isn't there. I think that's when he gets the opportunity to sign players, maybe that's when things change a little bit.
Yeah.
Vidal's getting put there as an option because there's not anyone else. When it comes to Anusa, again, like, I completely agree with everything you said about Ronald, but I'm going to stick up for him in a weird way, just because I think the reason he's getting selected, like, Anusa's in and out of the team a lot more than Ronald is. And as much as I prefer Anusa as an attacking capacity, I think he's horrendous when it comes to defending and backtracking and supporting the team. And I think that's what's keeping him out of the team. And it's highlighted to me in quite a few recent matches, more so when in the last few under Sheehan, and I think it was Bristol under O'Dea and some of the early ones under Matos as well. He doesn't track back enough. He doesn't have that sort of like awareness of what's going around him, who he needs to look at. He doesn't want to get back, I don't think. It was Bristol, wasn't it, where Santos came on off the bench.
Yeah.
And I think this highlights exactly why he is not starting every week. Anusa's the deepest defender. There's a ball played through. I think it was for the 3rd goal. And he's jogging back because the player's through. He's giving up already. Whereas Santos, who's further away from the Bristol attacker, sprints back, passes Anusa, and nearly gets to the man. But he's a player who's not played all season. He's older. He's a centre back. He's a bigger build. He's quite a big build. Who's been crocked for about 3 years, and he's sprinting back past one of the wingers, who's meant to be one of the quickest players on our team. That's why Anusa doesn't get picked over Ronald. As much as we can highlight these issues of Ronald, and I completely agree it's an issue, I think when it comes to the team aspect, that is why he's in the team, because he runs and runs and runs. He don't stop. He presses. He's got an engine on him, and I think, as much as we can criticize his end product, I think he does try his hardest, to be honest. I think he does really try. I just think that's just what he is.
I know, but it's like I think it's just what he's being sold as. I think that's the frustration. I think for ages we were kind of expecting this winger to be creative and and do all that. He's not. I think we've got to just accept he's not that type of player now. So we're not going to get goal contributions from him. He will every now and then, like he's got a couple pitched in every year and then, but it's not good enough to do it week in, week out. And that's why I was like kind of getting really frustrated because I was like, look, this is a problem. There's a winger here that's not contributing. Now, I definitely think he's better defensively. I think he'd be better as a wing back. And in the last, I can't remember if he did it against Stoke on Saturday. I can't remember, but definitely in the 2 home games, he put Ronald. He brought Casey on to go to a back 3, and then he had Timon and Ronald as a wing back. Now I think he's probably more suited to that role than being an actual out-and-out winger. And if that's what he was packaged as, I think you can be more sympathetic then when he's not getting goal contributions and not, you pull up the stats about his crosses and whatever. It's like that's fair enough. But as a wing back, there's kind of not that expectation that you are more creative. So I think he'd be better off as that. But if we're going to continue with wingers, then that position needs sorting. If we're going to play that formation, we're not going to play with wing backs. We're going to play with wide men. You need someone else in there. Like over time, maybe he will get replaced. Maybe we'll bring someone in January. I think the idea was as well. I like players like Benson would come in and compete, and Nusa, and they haven't. So you can't really complain because they just haven't. They haven't been better than him, have they? Really, you can't say like, oh look, he's playing better, so he should be playing. And I think you are right about like defensively, and maybe we'll come on to talk about Key as well. Maybe Ronald is better playing on the right side there to cover Key a little bit. Maybe we don't know. We don't know the nuances that goes on.
Do you think? I'm not trying, and you can't defend the crosses aspect, but like,
no,
is that right side just an issue? Generally, there's maybe not much confidence there. Maybe Ronald knows what's going on with Key. Like Key's underperforming, yeah, he's having issues, and Ronald's undercover there. Does that affect him going forward? Like maybe there's a little bit of that going on, but then I guess we've had Galbraith there in recent games, and he's still haven't done a cross. So
that's what I was going to say. Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Like I think it probably was a problem. I think like defensively, they probably want him to do a bit more covering if Key's not playing very well. But like you said, even when Galbraith has gone in there, he still doesn't produce. Like I just think he's not a winger. That's my take on it. I just think he's not a winger, and he keeps playing wing, and it's really frustrating.
I think it's one of those where he's either going to get replaced over time now, or maybe Matos is the one that can coach something into him, coach his game a little bit, and actually make him find a bit of form. Because, I mean, there's Ronald's in the Portuguese league when there. Maybe there's some links there. Who we'll see if you can get anything out of him. But I think time's running out for him to find that. But we'll have to wait and see. I think
he tends to go on bursts as well. So like he may like score now. Like say he scores against Wrexham or gets an assist or something, and then he may go like 2 or 3 games where he gets an assist.
Yeah, he did at the start of the season, didn't he?
Yeah, he'll always come in like a burst, and then he'll just like completely disappear for like 40 games then, which you can't. I think we've talked about the crosses and the we talked about the crosses in particular, but 7 goal contributions in 44 games, and he plays week in, week out, which is a positive for him, really. I think like you can't fault his fitness and his engine, you can't fault that. But in terms of end product, it's not there.
Yeah. On the other side, I know you've got issue with both, but I think Ji-sung has improved a bit, I would say, since Matos has come in, and he started, I think, the last 3 at least. I'm not sure if he was more. I think he started against West Brom as well, actually. So he seems to like him, and he does seem to be getting something out of him. I think he was a bit quiet at Stoke, I'll be honest. I think what Am's biggest issue is his strength. Yeah. And I think when he's getting bullied out of a game, that just completely nullifies him then. When he doesn't get bullied out of a game, he starts trying a few more things. Yeah. And I think that happened maybe against Oxford and Portsmouth, and we saw some decent spells from him. I've seen a lot online of people praising him and saying that he was the best player, and that's outside of Swansea fans as well, external fans. I'm not trying to say that he's the saviour or anything. No, I know there's still a long way to go there, but all you can ask for is improvement. I said at the beginning of the season, when we were like struggling still to score, that Sheehan had a decent foundation and we need to build and improve going forward and see the progress through the season. That didn't happen, and that's why he's got sacked. So like now we've got the starting point of Matos coming in. So if started improving, hopefully that can continue and he can continue going down that route.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see a player already responding and getting better, even if it's not every single game. But
Yeah.
he's done something to improve his game, and I think that's got to be credited.
Yeah. I think you're. I think, well, as you know, I've been frustrated with both wingers really with their contributions, but I think probably shows a bit more than Ronald does, and I think you're right. I think he has been a bit better actually since Matos has come in, minus Stoke. I don't think he didn't play very well against Stoke. But I think that's the frustration with him, because I think he does show flashes of quality. At the end of last season, like when we went on that run, he looked really good, and I thought, oh, here we go. He needed like he had an injury last season as well, like in the middle of the season. And I thought actually he probably needed a season to bed in. He scored I think he scored 1 or 2 at the end of last season. I thought, all right, here we go. He's going to kick on this season.
Yeah, he cuts
and then
in.
He just kind of went,
and
yeah, and he just kind of went back to like similar to Ronald, really. Like they're just there and they don't like create anything. They don't do much. But then he will show a flash. Like he scored against Preston, then he scored a good goal against Preston. Did, and then he shows flashes within games, and then he goes quiet. So I think it's a different frustration with him, because I think you can see he has got that quality.
Yeah.
He can have an end product, but he doesn't do it enough.
But I think that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
That I think Sheehan has to take some of the blame, coaching some of that away from the attackers. Some of them might then show that's the case, and then maybe some of them won't. We'll have to see. Responded more than Ronald, for example, but we need a bigger sample size than 5 games to say if it's something permanent, or like perhaps Ams just hit a bit of a good spell of form. But we'll have to wait and see. But it's nice. I think there's potential that if he can carry on, he does need to work on his strength. Definitely, I think that's one of the ways he will improve his game, because he can just get pushed around too easy, and you don't get free kicks for all of them these days or in this league. So he needs to like sort that out.
Yeah. Also, I think as well, though, we don't know what it would be like if, say, for example, you had a winger on the other side that was also creative.
Yeah,
and that would take some attention away, and he would maybe find a bit more space and stuff like that. But when you've got a right-hand side of a right-back and a winger that are not playing very well and not creating anything,
yeah, they know that Timon is a threat, and then
Timon and on the other side can probably create more. That's where your attention is going. So we'll see. Like I think the wingers and the 10 position is something that we definitely got to address in terms of quality. That's probably where we're really falling down at the minute. But if they can address it and start getting something out of those positions, then I think we'll be fine, because I think everywhere else, for me, right back as well, we're probably okay.
Yeah. I do think as well, delivery from set pieces has been decent this season, to be honest.
Yeah, that's
he
fair.
Takes them with Timon, doesn't he? And I do think he's got a decent delivery on him. And you mentioned about his injury last season. One thing I think we forget, he started this season injured. He missed most of pre-season because of injury. So maybe that's something that we should have considered, because Anus has had that as a bit of a get out of jail card, hasn't he? But maybe we should be considerate of that as well. Okay, so we mentioned a little bit about Josh Key. What is that to say? I don't want to go and grill him. I mean, I might in our little group chat during games, when you see things in front of you, it might be a different story. But
that's
I'm not going to come out here and grill him. I do think you could not have had a worse entry into the game against Stoke than what he did. I think he's probably fully aware of it, right? And whether he hears this, or I'm sure he's probably seen things online from what it sounds like. But horrendous bit of defending, to be frank. Really, really poor.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not overly concerned about the Stoke performance, because their first goal was a bit of a wonder goal. I do think we could have defended it better on the transition, but we got caught out on the transition. It happens. The actual strike was just one of them that you just got to accept, like Timon did the game before. This one, the 2-0, it was just, he just got sucked in where I really think he didn't need to. And it could be like, oh, that's where you get taught when you how to defend all this. You need a nose behind you and be aware of what's going on. Like, he had no idea where Sober Thomas was, and Sober Thomas literally just had a one-on-one with the keeper just because of there was no one there, and it has to fall on his shoulders. I don't care. Anyone can say anything else about the lead up to the goal. I think I'm had a bit of criticism for the lead up to the goal, and it's irrelevant for me. The positioning was just horrendous, and that happened immediately after getting subbed on. Like, you should be as focused as you're going to be for the rest of the match of that part of the game. I would love him to come out and turn this spell of bad form around, but he just had a shocker, and he's been poor for a while. Every cross that he was going forward and putting in was just wild.
Yeah.
Absolutely nowhere. Like, not overhit, under wild. Like, some of them were just sailing like he was playing rugby going for 3 points.
Yeah.
It just didn't look like he was in the right place to be on that pitch. And maybe that is the case, right? But then protect him, do you know what I mean? So, and maybe that's Matos is new. Maybe he wasn't fully aware, or like he's just learning the situation. But someone at the club needs to be on top of that. And if he needs that, bit of time out of the limelight, then give him that bit of time out of the limelight, because you'll have people like us talking our opinions, and it's not going to help. We're not going to go in and talk nasty stuff online or anything, like, but some people do. And that's just going to make the situation worse.
Yeah, I think. Look, he hasn't been good all season. We know that. We've said, like, he's not been performing well, but I think it was that cameo on Saturday which was like the tip of the iceberg, really, where you really saw like a player that was just confidence had gone like totally. Like, he just looked scared, like almost to be on the ball, which was really difficult to see, because you don't want to see that. Whereas it's a shame, because like he's had some really good games for us, like over the time he's been here, but obviously he's just going through a dip in form. But like Saturday, as you said, like he come on, and like Sober Thomas was dead quiet all game. He didn't do anything, and then he kind of came into the game as Key came on as well. Like, he made the mistake for the goal. He seems to come in a lot, though. I know, like, people say you've got to tuck in.
It's been a thing recently because Cross is coming in from his side, but he's always nowhere near the
in the middle of the field. Like, he's always like he's gone wandering into the middle of the field. It's like,
and I've seen people defending that as a way of like, well, that's how you set up or whatever. He's tucked in and they keep in the back four compact, but I don't notice it the other side with Timon. Timon seems to be always there with his whoever's putting the cross in and trying to stop that cross coming in.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen the other side. Like, he's not there.
Yeah, it's been a theme all season, and I think like that performance in particular has probably like really brought it to the forefront now of everyone being like, right, this needs to be sorted. Like, we probably got away with it like for the rest of the season. It was probably hidden within a lot of other problems that we've had. Obviously, not playing well as a team and everything with Shi and blah blah blah. But now, like, everything else seems to be improving, and then that just stood out massively on Saturday. And then I know he probably wouldn't have done it, but after he makes that mistake, after just coming on, I think his confidence is like completely shot then. I think you probably could have taken him off. You wouldn't have, because you just brought him on. But then after that, like you said, like, he couldn't cross the ball. Like, every time he tried to complete a pass, like 2 yards, he was passing it to a Stoke player. He just looked totally like gone of confidence then. And I just, I feel sorry for him. I don't like to see like people go absolutely massive in their negativity. But we can criticize. We can see, we watch the games every week. You can criticize, but not like, you don't want to go too nuclear with it. But yeah, I think you're right. I think he needs time out of the limelight now. I think he needs to be interesting to see what he does now against Wrexham. I saw like some people on our tweet, and they said like, maybe you should just like really back him with confidence and start him, or you drop him completely. So it'd be interesting to see. I think
it's gone past. You just chuck him in and start him, because what happens if it implodes more?
Yeah,
I
agree.
I think 1 or 2 games out of the matchday squad personally.
Well, it happened, didn't it?
Let him have a good Christmas.
Yeah,
try and spend some time with his family, and yeah, just come back in a new year now and try and get him involved again. I think Galbraith, he can carry on as right back for me at the moment. I think, we've won 2 of the last 3, and if you take away that goal that we're talking about Josh Key being our fault for, then we drew against Stoke ultimately in terms of scoreline there. okay, there's an argument to say you miss from Galbraith in midfield, and maybe we don't score our goal if he's not there. I understand that. However, I do think midfield's probably the one area we're mostly stacked in the team.
Yeah.
And
There's
we've
enough
probably got
cover,
options that can come in and do different things there.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not Galbraith, but he's still on the pitch and he can do things from right back, like I saw someone, I'm not saying he's this, but I saw someone comparing him to the role that Trent played for Liverpool when he was getting talked about going into midfield and stuff. Like, I guess he's got some similar qualities, of that sort of thing. So like, he can still offer what he can offer from right back. So I don't think it's an issue. And I think put Sam Parker on the bench and give him some game time off the bench. So later on, when you're moving Galbraith into midfield, especially if you're chasing a game, then Sam Parker come on. I don't see why he can't. He played well earlier in the season when he had the chance in cup games and friendlies, and he looked like he was going to be a number 2 right back, but he just haven't been around. I think he's been injured a little bit, but put him on the bench and give him a chance, because we need options. They talk about developing youngsters and bringing people through the academy, but like, who's coming through at the moment? The only youngsters that are coming in off the bench are loan players. The other ones have all been sent out on loan, and Parker's the one we didn't send on loan because we thought he'd have something to offer to the team, which obviously was Sheehan's decision. But I just think while Key is in this moment, he needs a bit of a rest. He needs a bit of a break from the limelight and give Parker an opportunity, because sometimes someone just stands up when they get given that opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way it will go. When Key was out of the squad, wasn't he, for was it Oxford? I think it was Oxford, and then did he come back on the bench?
He was ill, wasn't he? He was ill.
Well, Parker was on the bench then, but I think that's probably what he's got to do going forward now. I think like Parker's got to be on the bench and Galbraith's got to go right back. But I think they addressed it a bit in the fans forum, which we'll come on to. But you've got Galbraith there, who's our best midfielder, and he's going to have to cover right back. But I think that's just the position we're in, because he can do it like comfortably. He can play right back easily, so he's got to go in there, because we're a better team when he goes there. So until they address another right back, then he's got to go there. But I think what they may do going forward, which is what I said earlier about I think if we're winning a game, then maybe they'll chuck Galbraith back in the midfield and put Ronald as a wing back, bring Casey on. I think that'll kind of be if they're not going to use Parker, that is, I think that's what they'll do. But then like on Saturday, when we're losing the game 1-0, you can't go to a back 5. So he probably just thought, I've got to put Galbraith in the midfield. Key's on the bench at right back. We're going to be pushing forward. And then obviously he just got caught out, didn't he? But I think the plan going forward will probably have to be Parker on the bench, Galbraith, and then if we're winning the game, we can go to a back 5 with Ronald.
I feel sorry for Sam Parker, because under Luke Williams, and when he first came in, he was getting a lot of game time.
He was playing really well as well.
And he was playing on the wing.
Yeah,
he was playing him on the wing. And I think he started starting, and like he was bigging him up, and he's putting some good crosses in. And last season he didn't get a look in, and this season he's not got a look in. And you have that Govia as well, who was also getting played. And
some things are so weird.
It just vanished. All of this like youth inclusion vanished, and I don't really understand why. Like, they can't even get minutes off the bench at the moment.
Yeah, I don't get it. You said, they just disappeared, don't they?
Was the midfielder that was coming on as well last season sometimes?
Ben Lloyd.
Yeah, but where's he gone?
Don't know.
Is he on?
Yeah, no, like you said, they just disappeared. No, I know what you mean though. They just disappeared. He was playing for the under 23s. He did have a couple of games at the beginning of the season, I think, for the under 23s. I don't know if he went on loan. But yeah, he was coming on.
Oh, he's gone to Newport, to be fair, Ben Lloyd.
He did. Yeah, of course he did. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They've sent them all out, haven't they? Wilson, Congreve, Lissa. There's another one, Cotterill.
Yeah.
Ollie Cooper. I think it's a conversation around one or two of them being recalled in January. I wonder if that will happen. I think Ollie Cooper for me is a no-brainer. I don't know what is. Yeah.
I don't think
I think
for Wigan, is he?
Maybe not, but I think he's the sort of player that will suit to what Matos wants to do. Yeah. I think he's quite a similar player to Vizell. Maybe he haven't got the quality.
Yeah, I don't think he improves us any. I think he'll come back and not play.
Do you think?
Yeah, in terms, like I said, the quality of like at that end of the field is not is just not there. But I don't think he makes it any better. I like you said, I think
But he's
Liddell is
midfield,
better.
isn't he? Like he can.
I
We
think
don't know
Liddell
which-
and Cullen would be ahead of him in the pecking order.
Maybe, but I just, if they haven't got the money to go and spend, like Ollie Cooper for me, he can play all across, like he can play left wing, right wing. If Benson gets recalled,
Yeah,
I don't think there's any harm in having him around.
No, but I think if
mean,
Benson,
you're talking about Ronald and not performing, like.
oh yeah, but Ollie Cooper's not going to do much better. I don't think his output was even.
Maybe. I mean, I think he showed really good signs when he was playing under Martin, and
Yeah, he did have a good spell. Then
whoever
the
is
Welsh
able
squad.
to bring that back out of him, it killed him when he didn't get taken to the World Cup. It really killed him, and he's been the same player since.
He fell off after that.
I just think, I think there's a player there that somebody can tap into. Maybe Matos won't be able to, but if we haven't got any options of bringing people in, then I would recall him.
Yeah, like as like you said, as a last resort, yeah, we'd have to, but I think, yeah, I hope I'm wrong, but I just think I maybe don't think he's a championship player. I think that probably has found his level there, but I could be wrong. But I think if Benson gets recalled, which probably, hopefully, will happen, I think we need to find another player of that type to come in on loan, maybe to fill that gap and challenge the wingers. If there's anyone out there that can do it, I know like January's difficult, but if there's a loan slot there with Benson going back, I think we've got to try and get another winger in that can come and compete.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and
Benson's gone now, isn't he? Like he hasn't
he's
featured
in
at all.
AFCON.
I know, but like even before he was supposed to go this week, wasn't it? I think we knew he wasn't going to be here like for the Stoke game, but like the Oxford and Portsmouth game, like he should have been available, but he wasn't even on the bench. I don't think. Was he on the bench? He's gone anyway. Like we knew that.
Then they meet up a little bit before the AFCON, though. Like they got
the middle of December. I had in my head. Hang on.
Yeah, we are on 17th.
Yeah, so I thought like now he would go. Like this is the time because like it was Salah's last game against Brighton, wasn't it, on the weekend when we played Stoke? That was when it was wrapping up.
Different level of player, though, isn't it? Like,
yeah, but he was on the bench
Salah as long as you can.
He was on the bench against Oxford. Yeah.
Congreve, then I would also look at.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think like by all accounts he's done really well as well, isn't he? It's a funny one, Congreve, again, though, because he's come in and like played really well and then like disappeared and then come back.
Yeah, but he came in when he was like 17 under Martin.
Yeah,
and he proper threw him under the bus and started him right wing back or something.
Oh yeah,
away
took
at
him off half time.
Either Forest or Middlesbrough. Yeah, but he's not a wing back, is he?
No,
he's like a central attacking midfielder, and he thought he'd do a job. Like he barely started a game for us. He was like 17, 18. He spoke about it afterwards. He said it was a mistake on his part managing a young player, but he didn't feature for ages after that.
No, his confidence was probably gone then, wasn't it? I think that is an interesting one to talk about, though, because if they sort out the right back position, there were times when Congreve was coming off the bench and he was going in at right wing and he was like taking on players, like he was really excited. Actually, he was actually having a go at his full back. I think there's a case to be made if they can be comfortable if Galbraith's a right back. There's a case for him to come in and play instead of Ronald at this stage. I think he'd probably be more dangerous.
Well, he's 21 now, and this season for where is he? Is it Dundee?
Dundee, yeah, I think so.
15 appearances, 1 goal, and 5 assists. It's better than what our wingers have done.
Oh yeah, much better.
Anyway, who else? Whatever. I'm not sure. I think is Lissa right back, or does he play centre back these days? Maybe.
But he have 5 assists.
5, yeah.
Yeah, Ronald
15
has
games.
1. Ronald has 1.
In how many games?
21.
So I mean, Congreve's getting an assist every 3 games.
Yeah,
that's a decent output.
Yeah, that's what we need. That's exactly what we need.
So Ollie Cooper and Congreve are the 2 I would look at. I would seriously consider, but we'll see if anything comes of it. Like Matos doesn't know, does he? So he might just leave them stay put because he doesn't know the players. But there we go. We'll have to wait and see. what else was on our agenda for today then? Liam, we haven't talked about Liam Cullen. I think it is fair to mention because he did score in this period off the bench against Portsmouth, and well, the winning goal. Actually, bit of a cracking strike.
Yep.
Yalkuye assist for that one as well, wasn't it? So he's come back into the team, and he's
It's
got
mad
an
he gets an assist for that.
It looked like he kind of took it off Cullen, and then Cullen just
he kind of like puts his
kicked the-
foot out,
yeah.
and he realizes Cullen's there, but he touches it, and then he gets an assist for that.
But he curls it around the defender, and it curls into the left side of the goal. So
Yeah,
really
it's a
good
great
finish.
Great finish.
And that's what he can offer in that position.
Yeah.
So, but then I think you saw both sides of Cullen in 2 games, and then he starts against Stoke, and you see the other side where this is why I don't like him in that position. It's not for lack of effort or anything, but I just think he hasn't got the footballing like instinct, let's say, to play it in a midfield role, because I just think stuff happens around him that he just misses, or like he receives the ball without realizing the pressure he's under, and it makes a mistake. And so many times that results in either a chance or a goal for the opposition, and it happens a lot. And I'm not blaming him. I just don't think that's what he is.
No, you're spot on. And Cullen's another one. I've said to you, haven't I, how frustrated I've been with him, and I've said negative things about him. But I think this week, like you said, sums him up perfectly. Like that, his goal against Portsmouth is what he is great at. Those late runs into the box where he's kind of just a little bit behind. Lovely finish. It was the one against Blackburn away this season where he crosses it and he's coming in late. Lovely finish. In those attacking moments, that's where he's brilliant. Where he's not the main focal point. He's not the main striker. He's just in that hole. He's coming in late. That's what he's perfect at. But like you said, defensively, when you play him in that position, and then when you're trying to create chances, he is vulnerable to losing the ball in the wrong place. And then, like you said, maybe defensively, he's not picking up his man and not where he should be. So it's a bit of a risk to kind of play him in that position, because you're sacrificing maybe a bit of I don't know the word, but a bit of tactical battle in the midfield for the off chance that he'll get that moment where he can score, which he can do, as we saw against Portsmouth. I tend to find as well, he comes off the bench and he's really good, and then he starts and he's just anonymous. It's I don't know what it is.
When you come on late into a game, everyone's a bit more tired. There's a result.
I know.
There's probably goals involved. He's come on in a situation where we're the home team pushing on for a win. I think starting an away game against a team that are pushing top end of the table, is a little bit different. And I think you should start off a bit safer. I know I've criticised Sheehan for being too safe, but I don't think.
No, I know what you mean.
I think going away to Stoke, I would expect to be. If we came away from that with a point, that would have been a good result for us in the situation we're in. If win your home games and don't lose away, that's a good system.
We deserved at least
base off. Yeah, we did, but but what I'm saying is I think and we were better when he got subbed for me ultimately when it came to getting someone out of the game. Not necessarily just him. Not necessarily just him, but I'm just not sure it was the right decision away from home.
It is frustrating. I don't know. Particularly this season, it just seems when he starts, he's just not effective.
Maybe it's what he's doing in that position. He drops too deep. Maybe that's a lot of the issue. He comes to try and receive the ball, but he's under pressure and he loses it a decent amount. He's not because he goes searching when he's phased out of games. I'm not really sure the solution. It works a lot better for Wales. It's weird because he does actually do a decent job there for Wales. I'm not really sure why that there's a difference here.
I think we're struggling. We're struggling. We said at the beginning of the season that we made the signings and that we were kind of struggling to see where he fit in, and I think that's what you're seeing. I think we're kind of where do we play him? What is his position? What's his role? And that's probably for him as well, because I think you can see the frustration. I go mad when he loses the ball and he blames someone else, and he's always but that's probably the headspace he's in. He's probably frustrated.
Yeah,
no clear role for him.
But I obviously started the season as a striker. He hasn't played there for a long time now.
Yeah,
I would. Do you know what I think there's an opportunity of, but I just don't see it happening now. He used to play all the time on the right wing for Martin. like all the time.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about Ronald and stuff. Why can't we put Cullen out there and see what he can deliver? We can't find somewhere for him, so what's the harm in giving him a go there? He's done it before. He's done left before. He used to play left wing quite a lot, youth level as well. I don't see why we can't look at that.
I mean, it can't be any worse, can it? In terms of going forward, in terms of like producing. But maybe we will see it. I think what we can say with Matos coming in is not a lot has changed in terms of like formation and like personnel. But I think he's just trying to get it. He's kind of just not changed anything too drastically. He's just like kind of tried to have a bit of continuity where he's making small changes at a time, which I think is quite clever. Really, he's just like changing little bits here and there.
Also, without his coaches, it's going to be harder to do.
So we'll see in time. He might try something different, because I think he's kind of stuck to the same formation and the same personnel for the first couple of games, trying to get his way of playing across, and then he'll learn more about the players the more. I mean, he hasn't been here that long, has he? I mean, it feels like it's been a while, but it's 4 games really, isn't it? Because the Derby game you can't really include because he was there like the day of or the day before. So he's only really had 4 games, and they've all come like, you know, like Saturday, Tuesday. So he's not really had much time with them. So I think we probably see a lot more changes maybe after Christmas. I think like now with the fixture run, all being so close together, you might not see like massive changes. But I think after Christmas, and we've got a cup game as well, so you might see maybe a bit of experimenting in the cup game. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe Cullen the wing.
Wrexham.
Here we go.
What's your thoughts on the game?
I don't know. It's a weird one, isn't it? You said at the beginning, or it was either at the beginning or before we came on. Like it's not seen much media coverage. It's not being hyped up as I thought it was. It was hyped up more at the start of the season than it is now that we're like 2 days away from the game. I don't know whether that's because like we haven't been playing very well and like the position we're in, but yeah, it's just gone a bit quiet. It seems a bit flat. I thought when the fixtures came out and when Sky picked it up and they moved it to like Friday night before Christmas, I was like, oh, that's brilliant. That's going to be like such a good occasion. They're trying to like ramp it up a bit. But it's just, I don't know. It is a sellout, to be fair. So maybe when we get to the game, it will be like good atmosphere and everything. But I don't know. Going into the game, I feel it's a bit flat. I don't know about you.
How do you feel about it being a sellout?
Yeah, it's a bit frustrating, isn't it? Because I think like we've only sold out Man City and Wrexham. I think why? But then again, like it would have been the same if Cardiff were up. Like we were.
Yeah,
I know
but
it's not the same.
Is what
I know
I'm
it's
trying
not
to get towards. Like, what is Swansea Wrexham? Like, what does that mean to you? We know what Swansea Cardiff is.
Well, look, it's 2 Welsh teams, isn't it? That's what it is. It's 2 Welsh teams. It's exciting because we haven't played Wrexham for a long time. I mean, I was at the Vetch.
They have not played in the Liberty Stadium.
Yeah, well, exactly. I think it's just intriguing more than anything else because I think everyone knows the story of Wrexham, and I think it's kind of been shoved in our face a bit more being another Welsh team. So it's not really a derby, but it's like it's 2 Welsh teams. There's only 4 in the EFL, so it's just, I don't know, it's just exciting to see it happen. I think I'm not branding it as a derby, but it's like it's not the same either. But it's like we played Bristol City. It's not a derby, but it's a bit like there's a bit more to it than a derby. Yeah. It's like the in between.
It's like a Welsh bragging rights thing, isn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah, of course it is.
And I think it should be that, and I think that should be celebrated. I don't like the Americanization selling point that the media tries to do, but they haven't done it as much as I thought. They did it earlier in the season today, where they did a video of and they included Birmingham as well with Brady. There's also going to be a watch party with Snoop Dogg in America for this one.
Yeah. It's mad,
which is
isn't it?
Interesting. I wonder if we'll see any videos of that.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know what you make of this. I did my Wrexham preview yesterday, so hopefully you might have already seen it. It should already be uploaded by the time this podcast is up. And I was informed that I don't know whether it's a case of because Cardiff have gone down, so they're a bit bitter about the situation because Wrexham have come up and now there's 2 Welsh teams above them. But some Cardiff fans have actually been going online and saying that they've never they never thought that they would support the Swans, but they actually support the Swans for this game.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Which I find weird. Like, why?
Yeah, no.
Why though? If we're their rivals, Swansea Cardiff, yeah. If we are the rivals, what would possess them to want us to beat Wrexham? Like, why do they hate Wrexham much? They're not rivals with Wrexham. So, like, I'm confused. I'm actually baffled.
Yeah, well, again, no, it's like I know they're not. I know it's not a derby, but it's this, like you said, it's the Welsh bragging rights, and I think.
Yeah,
Wrexham
but why would
obviously
the Cardiff fan want Swansea to beat Wrexham?
No, but I think like Wrexham beat Cardiff, didn't they, not so long ago in the cup? It was only a couple of weeks ago, and so I think
Cardiff
probably
beat Wrexham.
Sorry, that's what I mean. Sorry, that's what I meant. Cardiff beat Wrexham, but I think that's fueled like. I think that's fueled a bit of
What,
bit
so
of
you
a
think
rivalry.
they want to be like RC? It is still us two top dogs that we both put you in your place.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the feeling, isn't it? Like obviously historically, well, I say historically, but I mean like over the last like 20 years, say, Wrexham been out of the picture, haven't they? They've been like the little brother. We've all kind of been like, oh yeah, go on, Wrexham, doing really well, get out of the conference. Like, yeah, we want to see Welsh teams in the EFL, great. And then they got to League One, and we were like, yeah, that's great. Swans and Cardiff are up here, and Wrexham are just below. I think we're all kind of happy with that. And then they've come up to the Championship now, and then Cardiff have gone down. So I think that stings a bit that Cardiff have gone down and Wrexham got above them. So that's probably.
So like, if as a Swansea fan, then when Cardiff and Wrexham played earlier this season, who did you want to win?
That was difficult. I think I wanted Wrexham to win because Cardiff is our rivalry, innit?
Yeah, but I don't see a world where I would have wanted Cardiff to beat them. No, that's why it confuses me. Like, no, I understand what you just said, but also like, I just think that's like conflicting. It shows who the derby means more.
But again, like I think
that's probably why we've got the double. So
yeah, but I think that like when we've come up now, when Wrexham have come up now, what I noticed was like as soon as they came to the Championship, it was kind of like, oh yeah, we're the biggest team in Wales now, and then I think everyone was like, hang on.
Yeah, that irritates me. Don't get me wrong.
So I think that's kind of fueled a bit of
support Cardiff to beat them. If anything, I'd just be neutral.
I think you're right though. I think it's that they've kind of it's become loud, isn't it? The Wrexham thing has become loud, and I think
the bubble will burst at some point.
Traditionally, it was us and Cardiff, and I think that's probably
like
fueled Cardiff wanted them to lose.
Take a step back, right? We had our moment. We rose from League Two to the Premier League. It took a bit longer than Wrexham's rise up to this point, and we went there, did 7 years there. We went to Europe. We won a cup, and now we've probably come out of that bubble.
Yeah,
they're just in their bubble at the moment. It will burst at some point, because I think when that investment goes, which one day it will go. Let's be honest, one day it will go. I don't think geographically will sustain that. Naturally, they will just drift back into like, if that position's Championship, whatever. But I'm just saying, naturally, it will fade away when they leave.
I mean, they'll find a level. Yeah.
I'm not saying that needs to happen sooner. I don't want it to happen soon. Ultimately, it's good for Welsh football, isn't it? And hopefully, in reality, what happens with Wrexham now is, now they're in the Championship, they start investing in infrastructure, they start building their academy up a little bit, and they start producing some more Welsh talent, and that benefits Wales and Welsh football. That's what hopefully the next step for them is, and I think that is what is happening up there. But down the line, when that investment goes, like they're going to lose the international audience like overnight. And that's what's driving them commercially. So they can't sustain the finance around what they're doing at the moment when the names are gone. I'll put my hat up to that. Like that will, if they left the club, that would overnight, that would go. Because they literally have an allocation of their stadium for international audiences. Like a protected allocation of their stadium for international audiences. Obviously, the Disney stuff wouldn't be there. That's a big generating factor for them. And all of the fan base that unlocks across the pond, which has done more than what Snoop's done for us, let's be honest. They could have a lot more. I think it's very difficult. Like a Wrexham top is a gold dust in some parts of the world. So mad, you just need to look at the revenue they generate. But that would not be there without the names. And if they go, and one day they will, I can't see a world where we've built this now. It's up to whoever's next to maintain it. I just don't see how it can.
Depends where they are, though, isn't it? If they get up to the Prem, then the money coming in, that'll happen anyway at that level.
Yeah, and the Prem will bring what the Prem brings.
They'll maintain an audience
but they'll become they'll become a Brighton, won't they?
Well, yeah, but I mean, you take that
Which is
one.
not necessarily a bad thing. But what I'm saying is, like, if they get to the Prem now with those two, and the money that they're generating, there'll be, I think, there might be a bit of a, if they can stay there the first year, I think they might snowball a little bit because of the story and everything around that. Whereas if they disappeared, they become a Brentford or Brighton. They're just one of those, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think a lot of people would take that, and Wrexham fans would definitely take that. But I think, like, naturally then, like all of those teams I just mentioned, they'll come down one day, probably struggle to go back up. That's how football works, isn't it? So, like, I think eventually that will happen to them. Just don't know. We don't know when the end is yet. They're still on their journey. That's what I was trying to say. We had hours. Maybe it was shorter.
No,
But we
I
had
know what you mean.
hours.
But we got to beat them. We got to win this game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that was the next question, isn't
we
it?
have to win. We have
do you
to win
think
this
we
game.
will?
I hope so. It's different now because when I'm not comparing it, but like obviously when we played Cardiff, I would always back us at home with that crowd. Like we always seem to just turn up to that big game at home. Like we always had that feel where we were invincible in those games. But hopefully we can generate that atmosphere and have that kind of invincibility in this game. I know like we haven't got Cardiff this year, so this will be our kind of sellout game that we have. So hopefully we can just generate that atmosphere and it'll lift the players and we'll put on one of those performances like we always do. But I just don't know. I will see.
So they are on a 4-game winless streak. They have been on good form though before that. I think I'll go count in a second, but they lost obviously against Hull 2-0.
Yeah.
6 there. 11 games without losing, including the cup against Reading.
Yeah, they went on a bit of a good run.
So they still in the cup?
started,
Are they still?
No, they
still
lost
in
Cardiff. No.
What cup was that then?
That's League Cup.
Yeah, they lost to Cardiff in EFL. I'm looking at the wrong thing. My mistake. So yeah, they lost to Cardiff and then went and beat Coventry. I was looking at the wrong one.
That was a massive.
My mistake. I was reading it upside down. So ignore what I just said. I'll tell you the actual. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, and then Cardiff was the one before that. So if you include the league games, then it's 9. So they went on 9 games without losing. Yeah, unbeaten in 9. They beat Coventry on that run, which was a bit nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the last 4, they haven't won a game. They've had 3 draws and 1 loss. So probably better playing them now than it was a couple of games ago, especially with the run we were on a couple of games ago. They have had some difficult teams in there, like they drew against Ipswich, but then some games perhaps you think they would do better, like they drew against Portsmouth, for example. Watford they drew, Blackburn they drew. So some of the teams maybe lower down, the results are not as exciting as maybe some of the teams they're playing that are higher up, which is quite ironic.
Yeah, a lot of draws in it as well, to be fair.
Yeah, they don't lose many games. They've only lost 5.
No, they scored late on the weekend as well, didn't they?
If you want to have a look at teams that have lost 5 or less, so obviously Wrexham are in 15th going into this. The next team that has lost 5 or less is Ipswich, who are in 5th place.
Wow.
So the draws are killing them in terms of league position, really. If they could convert them into wins, it would be significantly better off. We're obviously sitting in 19th going into this one on 23 points. They're on 28. So if we do win, we'll close that gap to 2 points.
It's tight, isn't it? In that middle,
which I think makes everyone feel a bit better.
Yeah. Could do with this win.
Yeah. The midfield part of the table is really, really tight. You got West Brom in 16th on 28, and then 3 points ahead of them is 8th place Leicester. So
it's ridiculous.
If we can get back into that pack, that'd be nice, I think.
Just a bit of a cushion, yeah, because we're still looking over our shoulder at the minute. So if we can get a win, if we can beat Wrexham at home, I don't expect anything in Coventry away, Boxing Day, and then we kind of need to beat Oxford away in those 3 games. We get 2 wins in these 3 games, then I think we'll be pushing up into that middle pack then, hopefully.
Oxford is next then, is it?
After Coventry, it's Oxford away.
I'm using SofaScore to look at the fixtures, so I have to show you this because it's throwing me off. This is why I just made the mistake with them.
They're all backwards.
So you can see on the left here, yeah. This is now. So Stoke's our last game. These are our results, yeah. So like the most recent ones at the top. Then you got going up, you got the next game, and then the one after that. If you go to the next page, you got Oxford and then down.
So the fixtures go. No, yeah, I see what you mean.
To get me, so I'm going up here. So we Stoke as the last game, then Wrexham, then Coventry, going upwards on this list, and then you go to the next page where the next games are, and you start at the top and you go down the list instead. But it's the same on the previous page. To get me, so like,
the flicks back.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what's going on there, but that's why I got the stats wrong.
If we can get 2 wins, we had 2 wins in those out of those 3 games. So like we have in the last 3, we've had 2 wins and a loss. If we have 2 wins and a loss in the next 3, that would be massive. That'd be huge.
I mean, looking at Oxford the other day, hopefully we can go there and get a result.
Yeah, I thought
we've got West Brom twice in 3 games then, which is interesting. So what's your prediction then? We'll have to tell Ben, but
I honestly don't know.
He predicted already, hasn't he? Actually,
he did. Again, I think this stinks of a 1-1, but we can't predict that. So I'll go 2-2. 2-2.
Ben has said 2-1 to Wrexham.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there. Give him a stick on Twitter. I would have said 1-1. I said 1-1 in the preview that I did with.
Yeah, I think it's been 1-1 this game.
Fearless in Devotion podcast, who we had on, and I went on theirs, and I said 1-1. He said 3-3.
Oh wow, yeah.
And he said he was just looking at the fixtures, past fixtures, and there's a lot of 3s. But he said obviously we haven't played for a long time, and things were different back then, and it was different ground and all of that. But he said there's a lot of 3s, whether that was like 3-3, 3-1, or even the likes of like 4-1, where there's a 3-goal margin. So I was just like, all I'm seeing is 3s. I was just like, all right, okay. I like your reasoning. I said to be fair, if it is 3-3, I think Swans fans would be so happy that we scored 3 goals.
Yeah, I was going to say,
wouldn't mind drawing the game.
Yeah, if we can score 3, oh my god.
Yeah.
You're going 3-3.
No, I'm not going 3-3 for predictions. I don't think it would be 0-0 either. I think just because, again, playing the game, not necessarily what you think, because what I think is 1-1. I'm going to go 2-1 Swans.
I'll take it.
So what did you say, 2-2?
I said 2-2. We've got a mix anyway. We've got a Wrexham win, draw, and a Swans win across the board.
Yeah. Just put in the predictions in so we can put it in the table. And then we need to do the next game as well because it's Christmas and we're not going to do a podcast before.
There's not going to be a
Coventry. No. We're actually going to play against Mac Rhymes this time, I would imagine.
Yeah, it'll be the first time. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I wonder
if he's going to score.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably put a good bet on a Grimes goal in that game.
So what are you saying for that?
What if? Just what if?
It's Boxing Day. It could be nuts.
This is what I mean. Boxing Day. What if it was just like everybody
enjoyed themselves a bit much?
But everybody you speak to, obviously, all Swans fans know that we're going to struggle in that game. But just what if it was one of them almighty Swans upsets that happened? So I'm going to go 3-0 Coventry. Which is probably more.
You did all of that talk and then just.
I tried to convince myself, but I hope it happens. But I can't see it. They got too much quality, and they're flying at the minute.
They've hit their worst spell of form, I think, all season.
I know, but yeah, their worst spell of form is like
a loss and a draw.
Bad. Yeah, they're flying. Quality, they got in final third.
So they lost to Ipswich 3-0 and they drew with Preston 1-1. And then they made hard work beating Bristol City. So maybe they're on a bit of a patch.
But I mean, there's gonna be a championship, such a grueling season. It's just you are gonna get a game where they're off, innit? But
They
they're
conceded
flying.
22
If they don't go
goals.
up, if they don't go up, my God.
They've conceded 22 goals, which is only 7 less than us. I thought it'd be more, I'll be honest. However, you look at the other end of the pitch, and that's depressing. So,
How many goals have they scored?
52.
52 the
We've
goals
scored
they've scored.
22. They've
Nice.
more than doubled us, and it's not even halfway through the season.
Yeah. I mean, what can you say about that?
I'm just delaying my prediction because I don't know what to say.
You're building it up to a Swans win.
4-2 Coventry.
It's not bad.
It's Boxing Day, innit? You get some nuts.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
So what have you said? 3-0.
3-0.
3-0 Coventry. And I'm saying 4-2 Coventry.
I like the 4-2. I think that's a good shot. I could see that.
Maybe. As long as we don't go 2-0 up and then lose 4-2.
Oh, yeah. Also possible.
Matt Grimes' hat-trick.
You can just see it coming now.
That would literally ruin every Swansea fan's Christmas, wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Like, as if they didn't, most of them hate him already enough.
He hasn't scored this season, has he? I don't think.
Yeah, he has.
He has, has he?
Yeah, he has.
Does he take pens?
I don't think so. He scored I'm sure he scored outside the box.
No, fair enough.
Anyway, fans forum we could touch on before we finish. So I didn't go. Unfortunately, I'm a bit housebound at the moment, but you could tell me everything that happened to tell everyone that didn't go or hasn't seen anything about it.
Yeah, to be honest, it was quite a quiet one, to be honest. I think the timing of it probably suited. There's not a whole lot to add at the minute. I think I can't remember when we had the last one, but there wasn't. And then I think when Gorringe went on that Business of Sport podcast as well, and everybody watched that, I think there was a lot of questions answered then. So I don't think there was a whole lot to kind of answer, but it was all right. It was a good day out. Matos turned up about 45 minutes late, and but in all fairness, I think what was good was that he actually comes across as a really nice guy, doesn't he? He's really personable. He's got really good energy about him. You just feel like there's something. He's got something about him, and I think there's a lot to be said for that. I know Sheehan did well for us, but it's just he didn't quite have that character that you buy into. And I think Matos has got that thing. He's really personable with all the fans. He's just got a really good buzz about him. So he came across really well in that fans forum. So fair play to him. I think the only kind of difficult questions that came, I think someone kind of mentioned about the Josh Key thing, which I think was a fair question. He kind of said Galbraith's our best midfielder. Josh Key's not playing very well, so you're forced to put Galbraith. What's the plans? Are we going to go in for a right back? And I think it was a fair question. And then it kind of escalated from then. Then there was a lot of the theme about people were saying about Key. I think Gorringe and Matos kind of came in and said look, Key knows he's having a difficult time, and just called for a bit of support, not for mass criticism and abuse online really. And it kind of turned into that kind of debate, and somebody else jumped in and asked the question then about there's basically saying how do you manage the abuse online of players and stuff, and it kind of turned into that. But I don't think that was a really unfair question. I think it seemed like it went on that person who asked the question then, but it wasn't that. I think it was a fair question, but then I think it just turned into, because we talked about Josh Key, didn't we? I think they kind of touched on he knows he's going through a difficult time. So it's quite interesting that they recognised that. They said, look, yeah, he is going through a difficult time. But they just kind of asked for a bit of support, really. So that was interesting to see them go down that angle.
I think it just highlights, though, that things do get seen. I think that's an important...
yeah, well, I think it's definitely...
No, but I think some people forget that, and it's easy when you're hiding behind something online.
Yeah.
But it does have an impact. And booing as well. Booing in the stadium. Yeah. I know we're not happy about certain things sometimes, and there's a time and place for it maybe, but probably also doesn't help things get better, I think is fair to say. I would be shocked the amount of times that booing players actually makes them play better. You know, they're playing bad, which is why you're booing them. Booing them, if someone came into work and said how bad you're doing, does that make you perform better? Like, or get motivated? I know there's a debate here, and you pay money and all of this. I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to criticize and stuff. Like you said earlier, really, criticism I think can be fair and like, especially when it's constructive. But it's when it goes past the line and it becomes more abuse. I think obviously that's what they're talking about.
I think that was the theme, really. That's what they touched on a lot. I think,
yeah,
because they don't. It was interesting though, because they don't normally say. They would kind of skate around it a bit, wouldn't they, and say like, oh, I don't know.
Well, maybe that's a direct reason.
But like, yeah, Matos said it, and then Gorin said it like later on. Like he came back to it and he said like, you know, look, like he knows himself. He's having a difficult time, and blah blah blah. They were just asking for a bit of support. So there's quite a lot on about like negativity on social media and stuff like that. That was kind of featured heavily, which is fair. But I think like you got to find a balance. Like I know there's the debate, like you said, about like, you know, we pay your money to go the thing, and I think it's fine to, like we talk about it on here. Someone's not playing well, like we've talked about Ronald today. Like if someone's not playing well, I think it's fair to criticize them. But then it goes beyond that, doesn't it? Like people, you know, like I've seen some things that people celebrating to get him out of the club and stuff like that.
And slurs and stuff like that.
Right? He's not nice. All right, he's playing bad, but let's like, you know, we can say he's playing bad and he's playing rubbish and he's been awful. That's fine because that's your opinion and you go to watch the games. But yeah, let's, you know, dial it back a little bit, innit? Apart from that, there wasn't you know, the usual sort of stuff. He kind of said, like Gorin said, the same sort of thing. Like he basically said in so many words that everybody's like for sale for the right price due to our like trading model. He said if you know bids come in for the right players, then they've got to take it. That was it as well. They said they were looking for a new footballing director to replace Montague. I think like I don't think it was anything like imminent. I think they just said like they are kind of looking, and if the right person comes along, they will be looking to bring them in. I'm trying to think if there's anything else really. I did try and make some notes.
The coaches, did you?
Oh, the coaches, yeah. So they did say that the coaches like are here, and hopefully they'll be announced this week that they've joined. So hopefully we'll expect to see that in the next couple of days that he's got his coaching staff in. So I think that'll be a massive help if they come in.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
and you touched just one more as well. You touched on the academy as well and the young players. They said they're still like progressing to get us back to a Cat 1 academy. So I don't really know the ins and outs of what they need to do to get there, but they said they are still like progressing. I think he said you get assessed on like a season basis, so it may be that like after the end of the season we can kind of reassess it again. But they are trying to get us back to a Cat 1.
One of the things is how many staff involved in it as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all to do with that, but that was positive that they said they are still trying to get us back to that. So
I think that's one of the main reasons that they we came away from it. But I think a way that they've gone around that, haven't they, like put the academy and first team training in the same place now?
Yeah, they
so maybe some of the coaches do a bit of both. So that means it's up the staff in without costing more.
Yeah. So and they said that,
well, like the chef, for example, now cooks for. They got one chef in one place rather than two chefs in two places. So like, yeah, I think that's what they've been looking at doing. That's good news though, but start using the players.
Yeah, I think well, they said in there as well that Matos has called up more under 18s and 21s into first team training since he's come in. So he probably would, but maybe that's what they do when they come in anyway. They want to take a look at what's going on, but I guess that's positive because he's brought more young players into.
I think that was his job at Liverpool, wasn't it? So maybe it will in time. So maybe we'll see.
Good. Yeah, that's positive. They said before as well, going back to the training run. I think they're still trying to buy Fairwood and they off the university, and they're trying to buy the stadium off the council as well. That's still like progressing.
Yeah, because of the financial rules, isn't it? Like it comes out of our budget essentially. The lease or whatever we're paying towards them.
So they think like they were asked if like there was any kind of progress, and I think they're still working towards it. basically
Yeah.
trying to buy both of them. So I don't know when
Okay.
that'll happen, but yeah, it was good.
All stuff. I mean, I think it's a lot of people want to know more about how we're going to fix issues on the pitch, but
Yeah.
it's two sides in there. They're looking at growing the club, and I guess like it's difficult to want to hear that when we're in the position we're in. But I think it is important still as well.
Someone
All
did
of
get
these
in
things
about
should help go
Ronald as
forward.
well.
Did they?
Which I was like, I thought it was going to feature heavily, but someone did ask, they did say, which I thought was a good way of doing it. They were like, do you, what did they say? It was, do you like train crosses, or do you do crosses in training? Because it's like something that we really lack. It was quite funny actually. I liked the way they worded it. I think they said, because you've got like, you did say like, oh, you've got players like Ronald who crosses are not the best, and it was like a generic answer though. He said like, oh yeah, like crossing's a big part of the game, and we got to be in the right positions and blah blah blah. That sort of answer. So he skated around it a bit, but yeah, it was addressed a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to call it there. So, as I said at the beginning, Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you for watching us and supporting us all year, of course. And everyone enjoy the festivities and the time off work or whatever's going on or whatever you're doing. Or if you are working, hopefully you get some time as well to spend at home with the families and get a good dinner down you and all the rest of it. So a couple of drinks, and surely you'll be on the Guinness.
I will be, absolutely.
Nitro Surge. How many cans are going now?
I'm stocked up in the shed. I don't know what I've got at the minute, but I have been stocking as I go along. So there's plenty to see me through the new year.
But on that note, as always, comment below your thoughts and everything we discussed. Don't forget to subscribe, rate us on Spotify, leave a like, all the rest of it. I think you can. Somebody told me on YouTube these days you can hype videos now. I don't know what that means or what it does, but if you could do that for us so I can see what it does and how it helps us, I would really appreciate it. But on that note, thank you very much. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. If we don't speak before, there'll probably be match previews, but I'm not promising because it's always carnage this time of year, so we'll have to see. But yeah, on to the next one.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.